beaches. We seem to be on a roll. First we had the walk, and now we have Achill. So, second is people and places. And we think, well, 73% of the survey says that we're really friendly. I don't know, but that's 73%. Community spirit, history, culture, the place is steeped in both. It's a great place to bring up a family. So let's focus on the positives. I was once told by a much wiser man than me that if you go to a lecture or a conference and you take one thing out of it, then it was worthwhile. So I just try and instill positivity into the people of Achill, because we have a great place here, guys, you know. So finally, I'm coming to an end, and at the end of the speech and the end of the steering committee, our final task is to put in place a functioning community council, one that will implement the findings in the action plan. So in January, there'll be more public meetings, and a council, an Achill Community Council, will be formed. So we're inviting anybody that's interested today to come and talk to any of the steering committee, and we won't be long writing down your names and getting you on board. So that's it. Thanks very much. Good luck, and thanks for listening, and thanks, John.
Thank you very much, Chris, for that fantastic speech. I'd also like to welcome into the room Teresa Whelan and Rose Conway Walsh. Councillors, thank you very much for travelling to us. Next speaker is Mr. Paul McNamara.
Thank you, John. Minister Ring, CEO of Mayo County Council, Deputy DC Chambers, Senator Rose Conway Welsh, Councillor Jerry Burke, and Councillor Michael Holmes, and Councillor Teresa Whelan. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to be here today on this very special occasion for Achill, on the launch of the Community Action Plan. Firstly, I want to compliment Chris and the 16 people that was involved that really took the bull by the horns in order to make this action plan possible and to be presented to us here today. They set out on a task over 12 months ago in putting the committee together and talking to everybody in the community, and they really deserve a round of applause for all the work they've done on that. But most of all to you that answered the call when they sent out the surveys. Most of all to you that answered the call when they sent out the surveys.
It's on and off.
Most of all to you when they sent out the surveys that answered the call and actually put down what your thoughts were. With a parish of just over 50 square kilometres, 5 blue flag beaches, CEO Peter Hines tells me he'll give us an extra 2 blue flag beaches next year, and the Wild Atlantic Way, 2,700 people approximately in the population. What kind of a plan could be put in place in order to make our parish a better place to be in the future? And in that action plan, all those questions were asked of you, and all of you put your thoughts down on paper and submitted them here in this booklet. So the task now lies with the new committee that's going to be set up on how to deal with that plan, and that the foundations are set in a very strong way, not just for 5 years on what it says here on the booklet, that we look beyond that, we look 10 years on, and most of all, to the 2,700 people that's in the parish, and in that, the boys and girls, in which are the men and women of tomorrow. What kind of a plan needs to be in place that in 10 years' time or more, that they can make a decision that yes, they want to live in our parish. And that's very important, that we don't just look to 5 years, that we look beyond that, so that those people can make those decisions in years to come on why they want to settle in Achill and to make it a better place. Will there be challenges? Of course there'll be challenges. When a group of people come together, there's always a challenge. If there's only 2 people at the table, there's a disagreement. But you look beyond that. You put the disagreement right, and you put a plan in place. A plan that will survey and service the whole area. And that's very important. That is very important that we remember that. And we will disagreements, there will be people that might be happy with the plans that are put in place, but we rise above that and we pull together, which we always do. Make no mistake about it, we always do as a community. As I said earlier on, Achill, the parish, over 50 square miles. So how is a plan put in place? We don't need to ask that question. That question is answered many times before and staring us right in the eyes. When we come together, what we can achieve. We only have to look at the Achill pipe band that piped Minister Ring in here in the last 20 minutes. Those bunch of people came together a few years ago from the various different piping communities and put together the Achill pipe band and done us very proud in the past 2 weeks when in the Aviva Stadium they played the Irish national anthem, and they deserve a big round of applause for that. Our local soccer club, Achill Rovers, FIFA Club of the Year 2015. What an achievement for a rural club. Why? Because a group of people came together from all over the community and took part with Achill Rovers and progressed on. Our local GA club, 75 years celebrating. What they have achieved over the last 2 years. With thanks to Minister Ring with a 65,000 donation to it, with to you the people that reached out when asked to help fund the excellent development you see there today. Our diaspora also, when we reached out, they came back and they donated to us. So they are 3 examples of why we as a community, when we come together, can put a plan in place and really make it work. And those are examples that we need to look at. Remember, where there's a will, there's a way. Always be positive and look at what we can achieve. Don't breed negativity. We don't do it. We're positive and we move forward. Already Chris has spoke about our beaches and the questions and the answers that came back in the booklet. We're in the early stages of the infancy of the promotion of the Wild Atlantic Way. I see it at numerous outings, at numerous meetings, and particularly in Mayo County Council. Achill is the heartbeat of the Wild Atlantic Way from the top of Donegal down to Cork. And we're proud of that. And we're going to hold on to that and we're going to progress it on and make it work. And finally, I just want to thank everybody again today for turning out. For turning out today to support it, and hopefully we move it on. To Minister Ring, for all the money he has spent over the last 2 years in the area, I thank him for that. But I also want to say to governments present and future, always wear that Mayo jersey. Always wear that Mayo jersey for Mayo, and make sure that the money comes here into the West.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you very, very much for that speech. I'd also like to welcome Lisa Chambers. Thank you, Lisa, for turning up. Next speaker is Mr. Michael Holmes.
Okay, thank you, John, and I might manage without the speaker as well. I'm delighted to be here at the launch of the Achill Futures group today, and when I just walked in there, John said to me, "You're speaking after Paul McNamara." That was the first I heard about it. But I was never for a few words, so I have no problem today either. I am genuinely delighted to be here, and the Futures programme is certainly the way forward for communities. I have been involved in quite a few over my time in politics, in Erris, in Ballycroy, in Mulready, in Achill, and indeed when I hear the word futures mentioned, I see Mary Rafter here on my right, and I associate her very much with futures programmes, and rightly so, because she has done tremendous work. And if the success of the other areas is anything to go by, well, certainly you will have no problem here in Achill. But the Achill Future Programme is, I suppose, different than maybe any one ever I have been involved in that it's a huge area. Achill is a huge parish, as you know, from Corran right the way down to the ferry in the Dua. A lot of communities, but again, as has been said by other speakers, you have to be positive, and the only way to go is a combined effort by all the different communities. And Achill has so much to offer. There's absolutely no doubt about that. It is absolutely a wonderful place, but you will only be successful if you work together as a group. And indeed, Councillor McNamara and Councillor Coyle and indeed Rose Conway previous to that, and Teresa Whelan, when we sit down at our meetings, our municipal meetings, we often hear the word, the Westport model being mentioned, something that we hear quite a lot about. Well, I want to see the Achill model coming into play. And there is absolutely no doubt why Achill can be very, very successful if you all pull together as a group, work together. As I said, there is so much positive things. Started off with the Greenway coming in here, now it's been extended down through the island. Again, I want to thank Minister Ring for funding, and myself and Councillor McNamara came on 85,000, I think, only a couple of days ago. We discussed it and we decided to allocate that 85,000 to extending the Greenway from Achill right down into Solia. So that is 85,000 that's being allocated by us. Money that, in fairness to Michael Ring, he has made available to the county, but we could have just put it anywhere, but we decided, having discussed it, that was the place to put it. So I think that's another step forward, and I think it's a very important move, because it's great to see Lisa Chambers here, and of course our Chief Executive, Peter Hine, they are all very pro towards the Futures programme and have been in the past, and I know will be in the future, because again, you can have whatever programme you like. Today it's been launched. It's just the start. You're at the starting line. You've only got together, you've done a bit of training, but today the starting line, and you have to work from there on, because you can have any plan you want, but if it's not implemented, and don't be disillusioned if everything in that plan isn't put together. It doesn't work out. It's a big ask to get everything in that plan, but if you get most of it, well then the Futures programme has worked. If you get most of us in that plan to work, well then you're going somewhere. But certainly we in the council as councillors, and I know our colleagues as Councillor McNamara has said, let there be ministers, deputies, senators, when they leave this county, put on the Mayo jersey. That is very important. We are doing that in the council, we're doing it in the municipal area. There's 7 councillors here in the municipal district, and I tell you, rarely ever politics is mentioned. It's everybody trying to work to do some little bit with whatever resources we have to try and improve our area. That is the way it should be. And we are very lucky at the moment that we have Minister Michael Ring. I don't know how long more, but I expect that whatever happens, we'll have a Minister Michael Ring will be there into the future, and certainly we need him, because as I have often said to him, in fairness to him, and I'm not talking politics by any stretch of the imagination, in fairness to him, when he has money he spends it, and I have said to him on numerous times, and he'll agree with me, I have said it's a pity you weren't a minister when there was money about. And believe me, you can go. But look, I know you didn't come here to listen to me. As I say, you have our support in whatever way we can. It's great to see it happening. The Futures programme definitely is the way to go, and try and implement whatever you possibly can from Curran to Dua and right around the whole parish. And you have an awful lot to offer, as I say here. It's an absolute fantastic place, and even this year I think there are, and Councillor McNamara mentioned about all the different groups that are there doing their own thing in their own way. You could think of 20, 30 maybe, different groups, that can be sporting organisation, whatever. It was only a week ago I was here at the all racing dinner, another group doing their thing. It's only just one of, I'd say, 20 or 25 in the parish that are doing their own bit, bringing people in. If you bring people in across that bridge, they're going to spend some little bit of money before they leave. That is the important thing. Get them across that bridge, footfall, and look at, we have the Westport model, we want to make the Achill model. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Michael. You're all hopping this evening, my God, this is great to hear, this positivity. But it's my great pleasure to introduce Mary Rafter, and I want to read out her proper title, Coordinator of the Mayo Community Futures. I can only describe this lady as our counsellor, our friend.